So today we got Kendrick Lamar, Man at the Garden, Explained. So we all heard the GNX album. It came out. Kendrick did his thing. So today we're gonna go over the Explained. So this is from Professor Lex Hip Hop. Go over there, check it out if you want to watch the full video. We're gonna break down some of the lyrics here. Well, we're gonna catch some of the stuff we missed or we didn't even really know about. So every time Kendrick comes out with an album, even a song, it takes months to dissect it, months to get into it. So I'm not gonna waste your time too much. I already took too much of your time. Thank everybody for liking the videos. I appreciate all the comments. Keep them coming. Keep them. I want all the comments. So let's get to it.
In the year 2024, Kendrick Lamar has had a year of domination unseen by any MC in the past throughout hip-hop history. Now, this is due to many factors, but in my opinion, in the opinion of many who are really keeping it real, it is mainly due to his dedication to the craft, his love for the art form itself, and his willingness to openly and honestly speak to the world through sharing his life experiences without catering or pandering to the industry pressure to convey a certain message of destructive behavior, willful ignorance, and a lack of discipline. Now, this direction in messaging and career is shared by one of
Another thing too with Kendrick is that the fact that he's now an independent artist, he only uses UMG to market, for like distribution. So he can pretty much put out what he wants to and control that narrative where other artists don't have that freedom. And I think we know some of who those other artists are. But at the end of the day, you always try to get your independence and still be on top where you can make money.
Kendrick's biggest influences, none other than the God MC from Queensbridge, Nasir Jones. Now, in this record, Man at the Garden, from the album GNX, Kendrick uses his inspiration from Nas to explain and proclaim that he is now ready to take on the mantle as the king of all of hip-hop culture. Let's get into it. Man at the Garden, lyrical analysis, and why 2024 was the year of Kendrick Lamar.
Well, as far as I knew with the Nas connection, I know this is that one mic beat. All I need is one mic. So let's get it. Let's get it.
All right. Let's get right into it. Man at the Garden. Now, you know how we do. Let's start with the title. Man at the Garden has a couple of meanings. Now, I heard about the J. Cole meaning. People saying that it references J. Cole performing at Madison Square Garden. I think it has zero to do with that. I know Kendrick is talented, but I doubt he had that much foresight or really cared about referencing that in this record. But somebody did perform at Madison Square Garden in 2023, February 24th to be exact, and that was one Nasir Jones. It was his first time performing at Madison Square Garden in his 30-year career and was seen as a marquee moment in the career.
Wow, being from New York City, Queensbridge, and he's never performed at Madison Square Garden. Wow, that's shocking, Mr. Dole. That's shocking. Wow, that's crazy. But you know what? Those are different times. We don't know what was going on, but at least he did it. It's supposed to be the world famous Madison Square Garden.
Career of one of the greatest MCs, if not the greatest MC of all time. Now,
do y'all think Nas is the greatest MC? How do y'all feel about Nas? And what does he fall in, y'all? Because Nas is one of the baddest lyricists to ever pick up a mic, or I say pick up a pen. Because back then everybody actually wrote their stuff. Wasn't a lot of there were ghostwriters. I'm not gonna say there wasn't. There'll always be ghostwriters, but ghostwriters don't come out and try to talk smack while they ghostwriting. Females too. I've been doing some research and I've been finding out some of these females got ghostwriters. People like Cardi B got ghostwriters. Oof. I think Nicki got ghostwriters. The whole industry is compromised. But let's get back to Kendrick.
Kendrick Lamar takes the inspiration for this song from Nas's original hit One Mic, which is one of many Nas's pivotal records in hip-hop history. Go stream it and you'll understand why. Now, the second meaning I take from Man at the Garden is Kendrick throughout this record is saying why he deserves the accolades he receives and the position that he has in hip-hop and throughout his career. So in a way, he is explaining how he has achieved heaven on earth, aka the Garden of Eden, hence the title, Man at the Garden. Let's get into these lyrics. Now, of course, there's not a lot of underlining meaning to the lyrics. The lyrics are pretty straightforward, but when he references certain things, I'll sidebar and talk about what he's referencing. Let's get in.
And I gotta say, the art that Professor Lex came up with right here, it's a beautiful art. Look at it. You guys looking at the garden, it looked like something that's what's in your imagination. I'm sure they're like, nah, I ain't gonna say it. Let's get it
into it. So
I like the artwork. It's good. Let's get it.
We start. Verse 1, twice emotional stability, sound mind and tranquility. I deserve it all. Like minds and less enemies, stock investments, more entities. I deserve it all. Now let's start. The first line, twice emotional stability. Again, Kendrick always references being a Gemini. So that is more a reference to that and him having a dual nature, being a Gemini. He references that a couple more times throughout this record and, of course, throughout the whole album. And that, of course, emotional stability brings on a sound body and tranquility. Now, when he says like minds and less enemies, I think he's alluding to leading a transition in mindset throughout hip hop, right? Hip hop has always been based around your enemies and the set and the ops and
that's how it was in the old days. We don't know because we think Drake might have changed a lot of this coming up. Can you still battle rap anymore without getting sued? I'm just saying, these new niggas.
All those things. And he's saying like minds and less enemies is what he not only wants to be surrounded by in his personal life, but he's also purveying and portraying that message throughout his music and the moves he makes, like the pop out concert, etc., to move the culture in that direction where it's less oppy and less adversarial and more togetherness and cooperation throughout. And then that would lead to stock investments, more entities, right? Cooperative economics, etc. Then he leads into more of what will be gained from that like minds, less enemies attitude when he gets into the VVS White Diamonds. G next with the backseat reclining, I deserve it all. Put my homies on the beachfront, flying private, what you eat for lunch, I deserve it all. The respect and the accolades, lamping on the island watching Castaway. Now that's a dope line right there because he's referencing the movie Castaway, which is about Tom Hanks' character being
Wilson. If you watch Castaway, you know what I'm talking about.
trapped on the island.
Great movie.
And not having a great time. Of course, Kendrick is juxtaposing that to lamping on the island and watching Castaway, right? Then he continues, for every good ninja that passed away, send 2.5 million on an average day. I deserve it all. Keep my name by the world leaders. Keep my crowds loud inside of Ibiza. I deserve it all. More money, more power, more freedom, everything heaven allowed us. I deserve it all. Now, of course, the heaven allowed us is a direct reference to the garden reference in the title, Garden of Eden, etc. Now, throughout the battle, Drake's fans and Drake himself questioned Kendrick's intentions and tried to put his intentions as an artist, as a person, under fire, right? So Kendrick is directly answering those questions and making it clear that he does give back. He does take care of the families of the fallen people from around his community. Now, the Ibiza reference, now, if you watch my video, if you've been here for a while, in 616 in LA, I explained what Ibiza is and the island and the dedication to the music god Best, et cetera, et cetera. That's why that island is known for kind of big festivals and big party music. That island literally is kind of a dedication to music in general, right? So just go check out the 616 in the LA breakdown on this channel, Lyrics Explained, link above at the top of the screen. Now, there's one theory out there that I saw that Kendrick is rapping as Drake in the first verse, J. Cole in the second verse, and himself in the third verse.
Damn. Dude's a psycho. The boogeyman can manipulate anything he wants. He can change voices. A lot of people always talk about they don't like when some people say, well, not a lot of people, some, they don't like when Kendrick changes the cadence and the voices and the different things. And to me, that's what makes him so different and special because he can be whatever the hell he want to be, where a lot of rappers or people get stuck in one niche. Kendrick developed his own niche. And when you hear him on a record, he's giving you different tones, different levels, different everything.
That theory, I do not give credence to. I think he's just rapping as himself. I think a lot of fans of Kendrick, or maybe fringe fans of Kendrick, just don't understand that he is not his public perception from the outside. And there's this idea that conscious rappers cannot like jewelry or cars or be, for all intents and purposes, normal. But that's a misnomer. And yeah, I think that's what that theory is based in, but I don't give credence to it. So let's continue. Now, in verse 2, I think Kendrick is starting to separate himself from his peers in general when he starts, because my intentions was pure, even when you wasn't sure, even with every allure, how much temptation you endured. You'd probably look for every cure. I said, I deserve it all. I'm waking up at 6 a.m., 6 miles a day, conditioning my wind. I said, I deserve it all. I'm showing up as your friend, telling truths better than.
Yo, every time you hear those lyrics, they still hit the same way. This was a massively impressive song. This song has so much meaning. It has so much, everything's in there. Meat, potatoes. I got greens, beans, potatoes, beef, whatever that lady be saying. God help me, something like that. But yeah, man, this right here, if you can't feel this writing that he put into this, something wrong with you. Because if you flip this and put yourself in there and say, yo, I deserve it all. I deserve to get 100 likes on this video. I deserve to get 2 million views on this video. Why not? I deserve it all. Come on, YouTube. Help me get 2 million views on this video. Right? I deserve it all. And K-Dot told me, you know what, P? You deserve it all. Why you can't deserve it all? What? You not special? You can get hit by a car just like everybody else, right? So why can't I get my blessings too?
I win. I said, I deserve it all. I'm showing up as your friend, telling truths better than your next of kin. Now, that whole line right there, not only is he talking about how he goes about getting himself ready for his life and his career, but he's also talking about his past experiences, not only shaping his approach to the opportunity his career has given him in life, but also him not being afraid to face up and fess up to the mistakes he's made throughout his career and through trying to navigate being a rap star. You know, he gets brutally personal throughout records like Mr. Morale, To Pimp a Butterfly, really all of them when you get down to it. You know, I believe that's why he says, I'm showing up as your friend, right? So when he continues, I never asked for too much credit, seeking validation just for the aesthetics. I deserve it all. I see you as a human first, even when you didn't understand your worth. I deserve it all. It's innate to mind my business, writing words, trying to elevate these children. That's why I deserve it all. Pray for those who prayed against me. Every reason why my ancestors sent me. I deserve it all. Now, there's a fan theory that he's rapping as Drake in the first verse and he's rapping as J. Cole in the second verse. I'm going to be honest, in listening to both the messaging in those verses, I don't see how you think that, especially the second verse is J. Cole or the first verse is Drake, really. That doesn't really fit their character. Not saying anything bad about their character. Well, not.
Yeah, I got to agree with that too. The writing, I mean, it's so great that you think, well, maybe J. Cole could hit something like this, but Drake ain't writing nothing like this. I'll be honest. Now, it could be a message to Drake and it could be a message to J. Cole. I could see that. But K-Dot ain't gonna come down to their level. He's already done that. He made 2 steps up and he moving up. He's just going. He's just telling you what he deserves. And cats need to stop crying and let him reap what he sowed.
I say anything bad about J. Cole's character. Now, of course, there are some similarities between all 3 artists. I mean, they do the same thing for a living, but I don't think Kendrick had them in mind when he was rapping. Nope. I think he's expressing the different sides of himself, and that's why he starts, and now we'll continue with the references to the duality in his nature of being a Gemini. So now we get into the third verse. Put a smile on my mama's face, good health, good karma. Yeah, she deserves it all. 100 meals out in Compton, remember me, I kept my promise. We deserve it all. A better life for my daughter, made my son take it further than his father. Yeah, he deserves it all. A close relationship with God, whisper to me every time I close my eyes. He says you deserve it all. Now, what I will say is, if you want to break the song down in 3 parts, this just came to me right now while I'm doing this. The first verse is him talking about his career. and his perception of himself throughout his career as the rapper Kendrick Lamar. The second verse is about his relationship with his fans and the listener. And now the third verse is about him referencing his relationship with his family, his community, and God himself. Because in these next bars, it's like he more starts a prayer, because this is when the music turns up, all right, it gets more intense, and his tone and delivery gets more intense. So after he says, a close relationship with God whispers to me every time I close my eyes, he starts to pray, keep these weak ninjas away from me, keep all my blessings.
The crazy thing is, every time you hear K-Dot, right, whenever he starts getting religious and ever he starts praying, it's because he about to murder you coming right after that, usually. And he just simplifies it in a way to make it makes it so you can digest it easily, and then he just destroys from within. The boogeyman.
Blessings faithfully, keep my essence contagious. It's okay with me. So there again, he's talking about having that influence over the game and over the people who listen to his message. Now he continues, I burn this place down. Don't you play with me or stay with me. I'm crashing out right now. No one's safe with me. I did it with integrity, and then just still try to hate on me. Just wait and see. More blood be spilling. It's just pain to me. Now let me stop right there. Now, this is, to me, a continuation in the album of Whacked Out Murals, and the messaging in Whacked Out Murals. Kendrick is explaining why he's on the type of time he's on. I think a lot of people in the industry seen what he did to Drake in the battle as a little bit harsh, because they wanted Drake to continue and the messaging of Drake to continue to reign over the game, so to speak, right? And that doesn't just go for the artist, that also goes for the people in the corporate and just in the industry as a whole, let alone the fan bases. So Kendrick is explaining that, understand that he's serious about this transition. He's serious about his position in the game, and more people.
Is there ever a time right now when we believe Kendrick wasn't like on Kendrick time? He ain't playing around. He ain't playing around. And wow, the connection with that verse to Whacked Out Murals, because you know what happened in Whacked Out Murals. He dug up some new graves that's probably going to be laid later. We don't know. People apologizing now, things like that. So Boogeyman is definitely in control. Boogeyman is in control. No matter what y'all say, he in control. Let's do it.
People will not go along or agree with this transition. So that's what he's saying. Understand, I'm on the type of time where when anybody steps up against me, they will be getting it. His approach will not change to defend what he deems as his mission. So though he's talking to us through the record, he's also letting us into his prayer, so to speak, right? So in a way, this is a confession of mindset. Now he continues the verse, dangerously, nothing changed with me, still got pain in me, flip a coin, want the shameless me or the famous me. That's that Gemini talking. How annoying, as it angers me to know the lames can speak on the origins of the game I breathe. That's insane to me. Shout out to Fat Joe and all those weirdos. It's important, I deserve it all because it's mine. Tell me why you think you deserve the greatest of all time. And then he adds a MFer, so you ignorant Negroes hear him. Shout out to Lauryn Hill. But in the end there, right, he's expressing his frustration with the game, his frustration with the dual sides of the game, as well as the dual sides within himself, right? And how it's perceived by people. You know, some people just, it seemed like before the battle, people perceived Kendrick as this kind of weird, soft, vulnerable, weak character. And if you listen to his music, he's anything but that. But like he's saying, it's the perception of lames who get to speak on hip hop and get to speak on the creation of this artistry, who have no real tie to its origins and how it's developed and the people who developed it and where it comes from. And this is very indicative of not only what's been going on recently in December of 2024, but throughout the year of 2024. You've had a lot of people who really showed themselves to be outside of Black culture, even though publicly they present themselves as coming from African-American culture. Let me say it right. You know, FBA, ADOS, and the like. Again, I'm not going to play the name games with y'all, but if you are a Black, kind of the same way Nas did, again, going against Jay-Z in that battle, in many ways, this is a reoccurring theme of the person who's keeping it real, or the artist who's keeping it real, versus a sellout, or the person who feels that it's best to cater to and pander to the dominant society in the industry, so to speak, right? So that's all I have for the lyrical analysis or interpretations you may have.
Yeah, there y'all go. Y'all make sure y'all go give him a follow. Lex Hip Hop. And you can see right there. Lex Beats. I mean, it's a pretty good breakdown of Man in the Garden. It's still one of my favorite songs on the album. You know, and go give Professor Lex Beats a follow over there. I thought it was a pretty good analysis and breakdown. Let me know if y'all want me to do part 2 if he releases it. And it's coming towards the end of the year. 2024 is about to be over, one more day. And you know what? It's been K-Dot's year. He came out, like he said, he strangled him a goat, and the other goat ran away, you know, and there's some people that want to move up, you know, now, but they ain't on K-Dot's time right now, because K-Dot is pure boogeyman, and he finna do what he finna do. So like the video. If you still here, leave me a 1 in the chat so I'll know you watch the video through, because I know 12% of you guys are watching it, and I appreciate it. Y'all have a good day.